When we think about fighting games, we often focus on what's right in front of us. We use our character's tools so that one person may gain control over the other. Sometimes we'll go a bit deeper and focus on how players themselves try to gain mental control over the other. However, very few will look at how a player tries to gain mental control over themselves. Some players will approach the game in a negative manner, or some players will not give their best and then not know why they're not improving. In any competitive activity, your mentality is a big deciding factor on your skill and overall improvement as a whole. While we may not be able to change your mentality completely, we can at least describe a mentality that everyone should aspire to. There are only two things in competition that are truly under your control: your attitude and your effort. When you lose in a way that feels cheap or unfair, or when your opponent uses frustrating strategies against you, you have two general ways to process the situation. You can keep feeding into the emotions produced by that situation, thinking about how unfair or undeserved that exchange was. You might also think about how you shouldn't have gotten hit with those strategies or attacks in the first place. Or you can accept that the situation happened, and while it did suck, it's impossible to change what happened in the past, and you continue to play. Ultimately, it's up to you to either pick a joke character and sandbag, or play your main and give a real effort. Similarly, you can decide whether you want to make excuses about your gameplay, or you can own up to your mistakes. Holding accountability for yourself is one of the most important things in competitive activities. Making excuses allows you to keep making the exact same mistakes as before. Holding yourself accountable puts you on the path to fixing those bad habits. However, choosing to have a good attitude is difficult and uncomfortable. It's much easier to have a bad attitude because it's easy to feel. It also acts as a crutch to ego, providing space for excuses. This, on top of change being difficult in general, makes developing a good attitude a difficult task. When we think about competition, we usually think about it as a way to compete against others. I mean, this makes sense. If there was nobody to compete with, then competition wouldn't exist. In competition, we often put ourselves in the traps, where we directly compare ourselves to others. While it does feel good using these comparisons to create a sense of security in our own play, comparing ourselves to others accomplishes nothing. Comparison between players can be a very difficult evaluation due to all the different factors to consider. So much so that the evaluation can become impossible. Honestly, the only thing that comparison provides is a boost in ego, or a decline in self-confidence, with neither of which creating a positive impact. There is a reason Mark Twain describes comparison as the death of joy. Instead, use competition as a way to compete against yourself. If you play with an active mind and try to implement new things, your understanding of the game will deepen. If you study the game while not playing, you may also come to some new discoveries as well. You might not have known that a certain option existed in the first place, and now are ready to apply it in the practice session the next day. Instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to the you from yesterday. Any kind of growth will help, no matter how small. Respect isn't just to maintain good sportsmanship. It's also to maintain a good attitude. Respect the game and its design. While a game may have things that we disagree with, those disagreements should not come at the cost of holding accountability. Respect your opponent. Play your best against your opponent, and if you lose, lose gracefully. Hold yourself accountable for your losses, and acknowledge the strengths that your opponent had when they beat you. Because while it may be easy to discredit your opponent and make excuses for your losses, it becomes very easy to then stop improving as a result. Respect yourself. Holding yourself accountable is different from beating yourself up. If you see yourself make a mistake, acknowledge it and simply work to fix it. You gain nothing by dwelling on the what ifs and calling yourself names. Try your best. You gain opportunities to learn and grow. Not trying only serves to worsen your attitude and hurt yourself as a result. Do not inflate your ego. While it may feel good to be better than someone, it is also the quickest way to stagnating in growth. Believe in yourself. You've put time and effort into a game that you care about, and it's okay to feel disappointed or sad after a loss. But do not beat yourself up. Use it as an opportunity to grow. As a competitor, if you do not believe that you can win, and your opponent believes that they can win, how are you supposed to win? By showing respect, you can maintain a good attitude and continue growth. Your attitude does not need to be perfect in every aspect. We're all human after all. But there is a point where your attitude goes from imperfect to outright bad. And the more practices you neglect, the more damage your attitude will take. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos on mentality, guides on the game itself, and most importantly, to not suck at neutral.